God, I hope I'm on beat. That's the trouble with not actually monitoring the feed. Just using the phone to kind of see if it's working. But that's okay. Let's move on from that. There we go. How we doing, everybody who's here? If anybody is here. What we got? We got a couple people here. Me and someone else, I believe. Welcome back to the live streaming virtual opera party from Ski Rex Media after a bye week because I was out of town. Was not out of the state, but was out of town. And I'm back doing another one of these. I got the goggles on. I got the Peace and Pow hat. Peace and Pow. Check that out. Set just as it sounds. Peace, P-A-C-E, and Pow, P-O-W. Hi, Bridget. How we doing? I think it's just you and me right now, man. So pardon that drink of water since there's only a few of us here. And it's hot again today. Hope everybody's staying cool. This July has turned out to be much warmer than I anticipated. I said back, at the beginning of the year, I says, this summer's going to be mild. And I was wrong. I was very wrong so far. So what to talk about while we're waiting for people to come in here? I don't know. Actually, I do know. This is lucky number 13, the 13th installment of the Ski Rex Media live stream and virtual opera party. Might as well go through the motions. That way, if anyone watches the replay, they'll get to see all this at the beginning. Lucky number 13. Monday is the 13th. And you know what? Here's the thing. Even if it is just me and Bridget, that's fine. I suppose I should. You know what? Let's do a little behind the scenes kind of thing here. Let's take this and let's go on to social media here real quick. And we're gonna go re-announce that it's going on right now. That's what we're gonna do here. So we'll start with Twitter here. Let's start with Twitter here. Hey everybody. Come join us at the can't see what I'm doing here. Live stream. And you know what, for Bridget and whoever else happens to be in here, this is probably not interesting. It's not nearly as interesting as the behind the scenes series of The Mandalorian there for you guys who follow Star Wars stuff or at least Disney stuff. This isn't nearly as interesting, but you know what? We have to go get people, so it's time to let other people know this is going on. And I thought I did. I did a little while ago. Let's see here. Come join us at the live stream and virtual opera party. I'm posting this live right now. And then I need to get the link to share with. How do I do that? I do that with this. And then I do that there. And then I go here again. And then I do this. And I move that. And I hit paste. Oh, wow. I have almost no latency this time, man. What I'm seeing is almost immediate. What you're seeing is probably almost immediate. All right. Profile. Let me make sure that went out. It did. Let me see here. Yes. And then let's go put it on Facebook too so people see it. I really hope somebody comes. Not that I mind just talking to Bridget. But we could do that on the phone. I was talking to her brother last night for a long time, actually, to be 100% honest. And we're going to talk about being lucky or actually unlucky, as people would more likely think of 13. 13 is the unlucky number, the evil number, I guess. People I mean, look at buildings. There is no 13th floor in an elevator. There is no 13 anything on addresses. No, there might be now. I don't know. Superstition has gone away for the most part. People aren't nearly as superstitious as they once were, and it's almost a little disappointing. Because superstition, man, it could be a wonderful thing. I'm not even gonna lie about it. But that's okay, man. That's all right. Whoops. Try to put the word out. Aha! Our Indonesian contingent is in the Rubicon there. Indonesia, man, pretty good. No, it's not. I was born on a 13th. You were born on a 13th, and I remember us many a time over the years. Not many a time, but a couple times celebrating your birthday on Friday the 13th. What people think is an unlucky day or an evil day or whatever. Where is it? There it is. And let's just put it out on the Instagram as well. And come on, hurry up. People don't want to watch me do my friggin'... Oh, hi, Alyssa as well. Got 2 ladies and our Indonesian contingent. So we got the whole world in here today. That's pretty good. All right, the word is out on social media. If you know anybody who is a fan and needs to be reminded, text them, call them, do whatever you got to do. Send up smoke signals, do the thing. Rob is here and at work, but he's here. I knew you were working. I remember you said you were working. And so I was like, all right, if he makes it, great. If not, that's great too. If he just has it going in the background while he's doing work, that's great. I just hope I don't say something awful when the wrong person walks into the office. And that's actually happened to me before on my own jobs. In the office. Say something horrible and the wrong person comes in. It gets all kinds of awkward and weird. So, 13th episode. Let me tell you something. I am not typically a superstitious person. I do believe in a lot. Like, I ghosts, goblins, all that stuff. It's all good. Fuck them. I'm with you, dude. I'm not too big. I believe in ghosts, believe in goblins, and all that other good stuff. That's why I don't like being outside in the dark by myself any further than the house. Like, believe me, once I'm done with this, it's outside to do the workout with the sun down, the heat down, taking out the rope, skipping rope, working that cardio. Gotta work that cardio. But the 13th is not really what I'm being superstitious about. Do you know, or have you heard of this? You probably have. People have said to pay attention to dates that are referenced rapid fire, back to back. That you see a lot. Thank you for whoever hit that like. I'll get back to the story in a minute. Thank you for whoever hit the like button on this. Please, if you're in here, hit the like and subscribe if you aren't subscribed as well. But hit that like button. That way, when people come back for the replay, they'll see that people were liking it and they were pumping it up. And, that was a good episode or something like that. Or at least they'll think it and then they'll watch it. And then maybe they'll like it too. I don't know. So anyway, hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't. Thank you. And then also go down if you see over here my social media handles for Ski Rex Media. It's the same on all of them. Go to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and go for it. Friend of mine from New Jersey today is now a trifecta, a hat trick follower on social media. And she got her stickers and showed them off today. So that's good too. So anyway, get rid of that. So anyway, rapid fire dates. People say pay attention to a date. If you hear it over and over and over again, something's gonna happen or something could happen. I've heard of this, but I've never given it much thought. I don't really pay attention to it. Lord knows I'm not good with dates anyway. I have everybody's birthday. People like Bridget's birthday, I knew she was born on the 13th. I'll know her birthday forever. But other birthdays, man, it doesn't stay here. I gotta write it down. I can remember names and faces, but never the same ones, and then I gotta write everything else down. So dates, rapid fire. July 13th, I have had that referenced to me in multiple ways, like 12.5 times. At least 12.5 times or more over the last week and a half. If I'm outside driving down the road and there's a sign, July 13th. If I'm watching cartoons on Disney Plus, someone references July 13th. If I, look up a news story, it's going down July 13th. everything is July 13th, and I don't know what's coming, and I don't know if I should be afraid. It's the day after tomorrow, man. What should I do? I mean, I have look, again, I don't usually put any faith into that. I'm not really a superstitious person, even though I do believe in supernatural things, maybe the paranormal, whatever. I usually don't put a lot of faith into things like this, like the dates rapid fire, but man, they just kept coming. July 13th, it just kept coming, hitting me in the face. And I'm doing something on July 13th. I'm actually going to see a friend that I haven't seen in a very long time, pre-COVID. Like, I haven't seen this woman in forever. And that should be going down on the 13th. So that's very cool. Really old friend of mine, dear friend of mine. But that has to be it. That has to be it. Because I don't want to know what else it could be, man. Maybe I'm getting to go with the aliens. Maybe they're going to come take me away. I don't know. Sometimes I think they're out walking around in my backyard. I don't know. Who knows? Be afraid. Be very afraid. Sometimes I am, man. It's starting to bug me. Not, like I said, I don't typically believe in that kind of stuff, but now it's starting to bug me. Especially with us talking about the lucky number 13 tonight. And, because, like I said, people think it's unlucky. Superstitious nonsense. You're just seeing it. Yeah, it is a coincidence. Typically, I would believe it was just a coincidence that, it's a Monday. A lot of things happen on a Monday. But then again, man, you start seeing it over and over and over again, and you have to wonder. You have to wonder for a minute if maybe there's not something to it. So anyway, we'll just see what happens on Monday. Who knows? Maybe Ski Rex Media will be something. I don't know. On Monday, I should get the new backdrop for the old Studio One here at the HQ. I should get it's not a full backdrop. It's just a piece that's probably going to go up over here. I'm going to move this stuff around a little bit. It should look pretty cool. I put it up on social media. You guys can see that. Here's a picture of what's going up on the wall. Another friend of mine from New Jersey made it for me, and I don't have it set up to show you right at the moment. So you can go back to Twitter and look that up, or Facebook, or even the other thing. Sometimes things are too coincidental for there not to be something to it. Yeah, that's the thought that's actually in my mind. Like Travis is right. Superstitious nonsense. Don't buy it. Alyssa's also right. Sometimes things just come at you and you can't ignore it. Somewhere in between those two, it is right. Pardon me for wiping the sweat out of my eyes. It's going to be a hot one tonight. You know what? Sun's not out anymore today, but the guns are coming out because it's warm. And I don't have an LED light in here yet. That's actually something I have to get in here too. So anyway, yeah, 13th. I don't know. We'll see what Monday holds. Should be a good day. Hopefully it'll be a good day. It's supposed to thunderstorm. I don't know. So being outside might suck, but whatever. I keep emergency ponchos in my backpack. You know, those little dollar ones you can chuck after a use or two. Keep those around because I don't have a rain jacket anymore. I have a couple jackets that might work, but I don't really have a rain jacket. So anyway, we got a few people in here, up to 7 concurrent viewers. Again, like the live stream if you haven't yet. If you do like it, you can wait if you want to see if you actually like it. I think you're gonna, because the people keep coming back every week, man. Keep coming back every week, even when I have a bye week. Skipped a week. Might even be skipping next week too, but that's a whole other scheduling issue that I will take care of behind the scenes, and we'll know about that probably tomorrow or the next day. But lucky number 13, I was trying to think, I thought this would be a good idea to do for the live topic. It's the 13th episode. People equate luck, or bad luck, I should say, to the number 13. Bridget was born on a 13th, so she thinks she could see it as a lucky thing. It's lucky that anybody is born if you do the mathematics, I guess. But that was really dark. But thinking of unlucky ski stories, unlucky skiing and snowboarding stories. And you know what? Here's the deal. As I'm thinking about it, I'm with Obi-Wan, man. In my experience, there's no such thing as luck. And I have fucked up stories, to be sure. I could tell the Killington story, the most embarrassing story, but that had nothing to do with luck. That just happened to be a day when I just couldn't figure out how to get up this goddamn lift, and that Poma lift kept knocking me on my ass. So that really wasn't unlucky. You could say karma is what got me at Camelback in Pennsylvania. I abandoned a friend in the first aid station at the base lodge. I was like, I'm going to go take a few more runs before the mountain closes. Hey, I have night skiing there. And then, I paid the price for that. Yeah, man, I can't think of an unlucky, anything that I would consider unlucky. I could definitely say, I guess it could be argued as unlucky. You got bad luck. That's why you biffed off that lift. I think bad luck for that one would have been if I had biffed off the lift and then had to be taken off on a sled to be put in an ambulance to go down to Rutland Hospital. Which actually isn't all that close. It's not far, but it's not close. If that makes sense. It's like a good 15 miles away or so, I think. I forget how far it is from the top of the mountain down into the town of Rutland. Over there by Killington. Yeah, man, I don't know. I don't consider myself unlucky when it comes to the hill. I've always, this is actually fun. Story sharing and all. This is my first time I watched your live stream, by the way. Definitely come back when you started streaming again. Absolutely, dude. Welcome to our Indonesian contingent. We're still waiting on our friends' stickers here. They definitely, here they are. They're starting to show up everywhere. And I don't mean to interrupt what I'm saying, but Rubicon stickers sent down to Indonesia. And they're going international. The ones that went to England just arrived in England. Now we're waiting for the ones that went to Indonesia to get there. They're showing up all over Vermont. There's some down in New Jersey. Shortly, you're going to see them in Nevada and Oregon and all over the place. And maybe Washington. Shout out to the PNW. They're going everywhere. And if you want a few, if you don't have a few, Alyssa has some down in Virginia. They're all over the place. So the name is spreading far and wide. The fandom will spread far and wide as well. Wow, and me getting full of myself just had people jump. Can you believe that? I don't think... All right, they're back. So it wasn't me. It was a glitch. And, sometimes that happens with the internet. But anyway. Unlucky. Can't consider myself unlucky. I'll send a pic when the stickers have arrived. Thank you, sir. That's going to be awesome. We got the Ski Rex Media name is going around the world, kids. It's going everywhere. And I'm going to start forcing it upon people. You think I'm lying? Definitely not lying. It was actually Rob's idea. He didn't say force it on anybody. He, one of the favorite pro riders of Ski Rex Media, and several of the fans of Ski Rex Media, Janice Spiteri, female pro rider right now out there training in Oregon. We were watching her live stream, and Rob and I were talking about it, and he's like, dude, you should send her some of the stickers. I'm like, you fucking night. You're right, I should, and I'm gonna. So he was nice about it. I'm saying straight up, I'm forcing Ski Rex Media down people's throats. Is that too dark as well? Is that a little too harsh? I don't know. Anyway, luck. As luck would have it, I'm not really forcing anything on anyone because that would be wrong, and we're not going to get Ski Rex Media into trouble before it gets big enough. I'm still Z-list celebrity in the industry, but that's okay. I'm going to work my way right up there. So, luck, I don't know, man. I don't know. If you all have any stories about luck, go ahead and start shouting them out. We'll read them. Again, I'm back to working out a better way to get guests than having to hold the phone up to here. And I can hook up the phone into the output or to the input, but it doesn't sound very good. So I got to do something with that. Probably get better cables. What is this one? Ski Rex Media propaganda. I like it. Hey, man. Propaganda. There's actually a bit there somewhere. Stay tuned. There might be a propaganda t-shirt coming to the merch shop. I now have ideas. It could be kind of awesome. Maybe not. Maybe so. I don't know. Anyway, luck, man. I like I said, I've biffed. I've gotten hurt. At best, karma, I get, there are all right, so here's one for you. The other day, it was actually yesterday, I think, out on like the public threads of Twitter, in the Twitterverse, and in the ski chats that we belong to, steepness came up, and how steepness looks different in a picture and then versus being at the bottom looking up or at the top looking down. We were talking about outer limits at Killington, wicked steep bump run. I won't do it. Bumps are for the younger people. Bumps are for the people who ain't nobody got time for that, except for the people who got time for that. No, it's a steep run, and we were talking about how sometimes it doesn't look as steep in a photo, and that also depends on camera angle, shutter speed, all that good stuff, all those photography words. And if you're at the bottom of a trail, it doesn't look as steep. Now, my friends from Mount Snow, they could probably attest to this. So back when we worked there, we would do barbecues at the bottom of the north face. And in Mount Snow, the majority of the diamonds are on the north face of the mountain. So there were times where we would have to get down there, we could just come down. If we went to the top first and you were a skier or a rider, you could just ride down, or you would download in the lift. No big deal. But depending on the day, like say if we were going straight over there, we would take the canyon chair up, take River Run down into North Face. And as you come across River Run, and I'm pretty sure it's River Run, correct me if I'm wrong, it's been a long time, you come past Ripcord. Now that's the steepest trail at Mount Snow. Like that's a trail steep enough where you need a winch cat to groom it, if and when they groom it. So from the bottom, that trail looks pretty hairy. But from the top, it looks even more hairy. So if you're coming down this little blue trail, River Run, to go to the bottom of North Face to run the grill and, sell drinks to people and stuff, you go past the bottom of this trail and you look up and it looks pretty bad. But at the top, it looks even worse. Now, I guess my point is luck is in the eye of the beholder? I don't know. But here's what my point actually was. Now, since I lost it, there's been times where I have come down trails and just bombed them. Doesn't matter the color. It could be green, could be blue, could be black. I've done a couple double blacks in my day. And you're bombing the shit out of them, and you're in the zone, man. You're just in it, and you're going, and you're flying, and you're moving, and you're shaking, and you're turning, and you're doing your thing, and you look great, and you feel great, and you get down to the bottom, and you've like dodged people, and dodged snow guns, and dodged trees, and done all this and that, and you get to the bottom, and you turn around and look up. Now, even though it looks steeper from the top than it does at the bottom, to me, like I said, that's completely subjective, but there's times I've looked back up at that and say, holy shit, I'm still alive. How the fuck did I make it down here alive? Like, it really does feel like that's where maybe luck comes into play. And again, not a big fan of luck. Luck assumes destiny, in my opinion, and destiny is not something I buy into. And it's like, but to the point of luck, and we know what luck means and what being lucky means, there's times you get to the bottom and you turn around and you look up and you're like, holy shit, I'm lucky to be alive. Because I just did something I probably should not have done. Was not safe, was not, it could have even been considered, it could be unsafe, rude, cutting people off if that's what happened. Well beyond a skill set. Like, can you believe, and it's just like, that might be lucky. That might be lucky. And I have done that. And now those stories aren't that great because, again, nothing happened. Just got up to the top, bombed the shit out of them, made it to the bottom, and was like, great. Awesome. Luck. I want to think skill. I do. Like, I want to believe that I was good enough to do what I did. But I'm not a pro. I've never been anywhere near pro level. I've never even been near amateur competitive level. I was good. I was good enough. Could handle pretty much all the terrain on any mountain. It's fine. Steeps, bumps if I have to. Don't want to, have to. Trees could be a good time. Lots of people, no people. Could do a couple things. And it's like, man, is that luck? Was that lucky? And then would it have been unlucky if I got my ass kicked? Like just bashed off a tree or bounced off a snow gun or ran someone down, which that I've never done. I've never had a human collision, nothing. I've never collided with a pole, never collided with a tree. I kind of collided with trees, actually. All right, so here's an unlucky one. This one's unlucky for a few reasons, because I looked bad in front of a girl,
and it hurt like a son of a bitch. Was skiing with this one chick we worked with, wicked cute, trying to, be impressive. And I came down, and it actually, you know what? That part aside, the ending is the odd part. Because here's where it was unlucky. Not only did I went to stop, and the stop I thought was fine, but for some reason my body wanted to keep going. And I came out of my bindings and went forward like Superman. It looked like I dove in off the side of the trail. That's what it looked like. My skis didn't go anywhere. I just popped out of them. Dove at the side of the trail. That's what it looked like. Definitely was not my intention at all. Definitely wasn't my intention. Now here's the unlucky part. For whatever reason, there was a pile of wood there. Now, I'm accustomed, as we all are, to seeing debris off trail. If you look just inside the tree line of a place that's not a tree skiing area, not a glade run of any kind, you see debris. It's natural. Some of it's natural. If you go walking around the forest, there's always dead, dying trees and bushes and plants, and that debris has to fall somewhere. That's part of it. The other debris you see is, trail maintenance, as they go along, and they, got to cut back trees, cut back plants. If they worked on the hiking trails, they got to, if a tree fell, they got to cut it, throw it to the side. This trail in particular, man, it had it looked like a pile of firewood. Like it wasn't haphazard debris just chucked to the side. It felt very purposeful, very much done on purpose. And I was unlucky enough to go head first into that. Not head first. My hands were out in front of me. So I went arm first, and I bounced off my forearm. And that hurt like a son of a bitch. That actually ended my day, because it was just like, oh my God. I just went arm first into a goddamn pile of wood. A friggin' pile of firewood that shouldn't be there. I have no idea why it was there to this day. For some reason, the universe decided that I was going to have an unlucky day. And boom, there you go, into the damn pile of wood. So that could kind of be unlucky, I guess. So there you go. I came up with one. Took me a while, but
I got there. We've been running for almost a half hour now, and I just got there. So there you go. So I guess it can happen. I guess it can be considered unlucky. I would consider that coincidence myself personally, but you never know, man. That pile of wood was probably the only pile of wood like that in the entire mountain. And I happened to run into it because I stopped like shit. Let's see what we got here. I am unlucky with Enterprise rental cars and ski resorts. Couldn't get the car unlocked without setting off the alarm at Sunday River, and at Treblant the windshield wiper fluid froze. And I've used Enterprise many times. Haven't had a problem with them. Actually, one of my bosses when I worked at Target was previously employed with Enterprise rental car. Let's see. Couldn't get the car unlocked without setting off the alarm. I know what that's like. I've done that. And at Sunday River, that place is pretty big, so I'm sure you had a pretty good audience for that. That was pretty good. And let's see, Treblant, the windshield wiper fluid froze. That means it wasn't windshield wiper fluid. Those fools threw water in there. Not to say it doesn't get cold up there north of the border. It does. But those fools threw water in there just to top it off. So they gypped you. That wasn't unlucky. That was some fool being lazy. That's what that was. But I like how you tied it into ski resorts because you were going there. I want to check out that Mount Treblant, man. People love that place. When are they opening the border? Trudeau says like a year. I don't know. Okay, here's the deal. Rob, I need one of your disclaimers right now. I'm not saying do this. I will never say do this. Tim says follow the rules. Tim says do not break the law. Tim says be good to fellow man and woman and children of those man and woman. Be good. Don't do things. But with that said, have you ever seen the Canadian border? Now, Alyssa's been over it. She's been to Mount Treblant skiing. I know I've been over it a couple times myself. I've been to Canada a couple times. I've walked along the border.
up there in Derby Line at the north end of Vermont, on the north end of at the very end of I-91, Derby Line. There's in fact, in that town, where not the interstates border crossing, but there's a border crossing in town. The border is actually, how many? Like 10 potted plants and a guard in a truck. If that guard in the truck looks the other way, you can literally walk across the border and be out of sight before he notices. I'm not saying I'm going to go jump the border. I'm not going to do that, and I'm not advocating for that, and nobody should do that. I'm not promoting that. I'm not telling anybody to do that. Ski Rex Media does not do that. Anything I say on Ski Rex Media is a joke and should be taken as such. However, could get to Mount Tremblant this winter. Could do it. Could do it. And maybe make it back. That border, the Canadian border is just a swath of trees that have been cut down. There's no fences. It's not like the Mexican border. Like, if you've been to the border of Mexico, if you've been down there, what we got here? Wood piles on trails, I'm suing. Everybody sues the damn ski resort, which is why Rob is LOLing that. He knows. He and I agree on that. Stop suing the resorts for shit that's actually there. It's ridiculous. Of course, that wood pile was man-made, but that was goofy. When I worked at Stratton, I had to ride down from Mid-Mountain in the dark. Yeah, that's balls. It gets dark up there, too, man. Let me tell you. Stratton's out in the middle of friggin' nowhere. And luckily, a snowcat had just come through with its tail up. I just had to stay in between the tracks on my way down. Yeah, man, that's kind of unlucky. It was lucky that the snowcat came through and gave him something to see, my friend Travis here. But man, those mountains that don't have night skiing, man, it is dark as fuck up there. Like, you want it to be a full moon night, because then it really lights it up, man. And I tell you, but this is where I always go up against luck, because I keep a flashlight in my pocket every day anyway. It's part of my EDC. I keep a headlamp in my camera bag, but then I've been taking pictures outside, so it kind of comes in handy. Not lately, but there are times when I take pictures outside at night, and the headlight comes in handy. Plus, you don't want to get hit by a car. If you're walking on the side of the road, you definitely want a light. But anyway, so Trav was lucky and unlucky all in the same place. Luckily, the snowcat had come by, but then he was up Mid-Mountain after dark. Which isn't super late. We know the sun goes down at like 4:30 in the winter, but even so, man, I don't want to be caught up in the dark, man. We have been. Back when we worked at the Summit Lodge, we were up there after dark for hours. We'd come down at like 7, 8 o'clock at night. Sometimes in the back of a snowcat. That's some fun shit, in the back of the piston bully, man. So there you go. He has a story of bad luck and good luck. Alyssa has a story of bad luck. Anybody else want to take a shot with the bad luck? What else have I got? I can't think of anything. Like I said, I'm not a lucky person or an unlucky person. I'm just a it happens and it happens kind of person. Although that wood pile, like I said, you know what? I could have turned that into good luck. If I go bouncing off a wood pile that just has no business being there, it's probably the only one on the entire mountain, and I happen to hit it while stopping. I know how to stop. I stop very well. You have to. And, man, those incidents, luck, not lucky, but I'm trying to think of more, man. And it's rough. It's rough to think of these things sometimes. You throw these topics out and you hope to God it's going to be good. You hope to God it's going to be entertaining. What do we got here? I never went skiing, so I don't have any good luck, bad luck stories. You should try it. You should try it. You can't try it right now. Rubicon down there in Indonesia. Typically, I would say go hop a plane down to Melbourne and, tear up Australia. But, Melbourne's closed now. So for those who haven't heard about that, our next season, which is, now considered an unlucky thing with the coming of the COVID. Oh, I know you don't have snow there. I don't think you have enough big mountains to have snow anyway. I really don't know much about your country. I know a little. I know basically where it is. I obviously know where it is. I know where the climate is there. But it is possible
outside of the days of COVID-19 to hop a plane over to Australia, and then you could rip that up in this time of year. But we're thinking about how, this season's unlucky for all of us because we're not all going to get in the runs we wanted to. We're not all going to get as much skiing as we wanted to because it's likely that there are going to be the reservation systems and, the limited numbers and the limited lifts and only one or two people. You either have to ride a chair single or ride with the people that you come with or, whatever it may be. And Australia and New Zealand were going to be our big tests, the world's big tests for these seasons. To do it like this because they're open. Argentina's not opening this year. Excuse me. Chile isn't opening this year. They may or may not open a couple of them, but probably not. They're getting hammered, though. I think Argentina is having like a ridiculous amount of snow right now down there in the Patagonia region of Argentina. Well, the South African hills, the couple of hills down there like Afrisky, and the other one I can never remember the name of, they're open. Or they were going to open, I think. I haven't heard anything out of there, though, so who knows. But that was going to be the big test, man. It was like, yeah, this is going to work, and we could see how it works, and then we could see what they did and even build upon that and make it awesome. And, yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen because Melbourne now closed because Melbourne had a spike. They had the resurgence of the COVID-19. They put all the travel orders back. You can't go out of your house except to exercise or go buy food, and that's it. Or in a case of emergency, stay-at-home orders, and they close it down. And Australia's state borders are closed. Like if you're in Victoria, which is where Falls Creek and Mount Hotham are, and the Vale Mountains. I think that's right. I always get Hotham and Buller mixed up, and I know that's two different fucking countries. But those are closed down in Victoria. Now, Perisher, that's in New South Wales. That's still open. So they've had a bit of luck. They closed those state borders. Like, you can't travel around Australia. So they still have some runs to be taken, but it's just the New South Welsh, if that's even what they call the people who come from New South Wales. I don't know. I could have just made that up. They're lucky because they're not having the spike. And we've seen, we hear about it in the news here all the time. Numbers up, cases up, deaths up. And it's pretty brutal. And now we're like, just waiting to see what we can do. So we might... Let's hope for some luck. Let's hope for some luck and think, hope that this stuff is calmed down enough where we can, just get past it. Skiing 50% slope at Creek, skied it 1 million times, hit ice patch left, hit an ice patch left from snow, making it 50% slope. You just slide to the bottom, look up, and 3 patrollers staring at me. Now, were they staring at you in concern? Or were they staring at you in, like, to say, what the hell is this? Because they should be concerned. That's their job. Sue the mountain. Yeah, man. Hitting that one patch of ice. It's like black ice. It is black ice, technically, except it's not black. It's obviously white because it's the same color. But that's unlucky. That's unlucky. That is unlucky, especially if you've done it 1 million times. 1 million times doing the same thing you always do. You've seen my park falls. Yeah, we've seen your park falls. I showed off one of mine. I think that's the only park fall I have, but I don't go in the park much. It's the only park fall I have video of. I've tried park stuff before. I never got the hang of it. I might try again. I don't know. But then that's not luck. We choose to go in the park. But when you hit a patch of ice left over from snowmaking, and again, it's the same thing as the pile of wood. There's this entire hill. And if even like if you want to bring it down a little, you have this entire trail. And you're working on this trail and you're skiing down and you're doing your thing and it's whatever. And, then all of a sudden just ice and then down. And then you just sled to the bottom and you just let it happen. I've let it happen. You ever done that? You ever fall and just like, you know what, screw it, and just ride it out. Just ride it the hell out because there's just nothing you can do except look goofy. I don't mind personally looking goofy. I've told people this. I don't mind at all. But at the same time, it's a pain in the ass is what it is. Pardon my drinking. Gotta stay hydrated, man. Gotta stay hydrated. Stay hydrated when you ski. Stay hydrated when you run. Stay hydrated when you snowboard, when you bicycle. All of it. Stay hydrated. Ugh, my eyes are gross, though. How can you guys watch this? I'm so gross. Anyway. Yeah, man, luck. You know, some people say that luck had nothing to do with it. Typically, I'd agree with them. But there might be times. Like I said, now you have Rob's ice patch, Trav getting caught up after dark, Alyssa, who probably should start going to Hertz or Avis instead of Enterprise from now on. You know, Rubicon, he don't even get to go. Doesn't even get to go. But that's climate. It's a fun sport, though. If you ever get a chance to do it, you know, bop on off to Australia or bop on up to Japan. You know, good skiing and riding up there, man. In fact, Japan also has the good music. That's my new thing. You all know I like the hard rock and heavy metal. There's a whole Japanese metal scene out there and hard rock scene. It's ridiculous. I've just been discovering it. It's awesome. Oh, they marked off that spot. Oh, so you went through their marked off spot. So, Rob's plot thickens. I thought he meant that he caught, you know, just found the ice. But apparently they marked it off. He went through a marked off spot. Look, there's ice, and then they're trying to figure out what happened. Well, that's unlucky. That I'll say is unlucky. Unless you did it on purpose. Then it's not unlucky. It's lucky they were there. It's lucky that they were there. It's always lucky when they are right there. You know, I mean, what better way to get hurt than at the feet of snow or ski patrol? Just at the feet of patrollers, you get busted up. What's this, Travis? Sometimes shit happens. Biffing off a chairlift. Seen it. Catching an edge. Done it. Getting blasted with snow guns. Absolutely. And that is actually luck. I've done that. You know, you see them come. You hear them coming before you see them, depending on how many turns there are. And you hear the snow guns, but you don't quite know where they are. And that's why, friends, safety tip from Ski Rex Media, always look at the ski report throughout the day, because typically it's published, well, in the old days when the paper reports were hung, and now you have your websites with them on there, and you can get apps, I think, that'll bring them up. Look, Black Bear to Polar Bear with Higgies. Yeah, I'll talk about that in a second. Actually, I have talked about that story. Yeah, man. Always look at the snow report, because there a lot of the time they'll say snowmaking on these trails, but there's always a disclaimer: snowmaking can be happening at any time. So, but try and look at the snow report. They'll probably tell you it's on there. Yep, the Black Bear Polar Bear run at Stratton. Me and Trav bombed the fuck out of that through snow guns. I've told that story, and I wish one of those guys, like Higgs or Pat, would be watching this, because I know Pat watches the recorded program once. Stick a fork in it, it's done. Yeah, people are done with 2020, man. People are done with 2020, and we haven't even gotten to the election yet. You know? I mean, I try not to blame the year, you know, but this one's going down in history as pretty wicked. Like, you know, I try not to do that. People say, "Oh, I'm done with 2020." I'm not, you know, I sped past them, out of bounds. Wow. Rob just being a rebel. It's like that. All right, so you sped past him out of bounds. Let me ask this question. Was it kind of like that GIF that shows up in the chat every so often? You know the one I mean. the one with the dude who's hot-footing it down the road in his birthday suit. Were you birthday suiting out of bounds? Is that why that bit is still funny and keeps coming back around? That would be funny as shit, actually. No lie. But anyway, 2020, yeah, it sucks. But it's all right. It's almost over. You know, we're in July. August hits, and then it's fall. And, you know, the NOAA said there's a rebel. Yeah, rebels. The NOAA says it could be a La Nina year, And a La Nina year doesn't guarantee anything, but it does give you more. Who reads a sign going that fast? I never do. I just point and go. And that's how I learned about black bear, polar bear. Trav said, follow me. I didn't look at the signs. I didn't know they were diamonds. Well, half of it is diamond. Part of it's blue, but the rest is diamond. And there were snow guns that day. And Travis and I, we bombed it. And we bombed it, but good. Like, this was one of those days where you could turn around, look, and say, holy shit, I made that. That might have been lucky. But we turn around, and it's snow guns. Like, the visibility was shit. Like, you couldn't see, arm length, maybe. Like, because the snow guns weren't just, like, they weren't tower guns or anything like that. They were, tripod guns at ground level. So when they were creating the mist, Did you see that movie with Thomas Jane and the weird monsters that were coming out? That's what this looked like. I think that was Thomas Jane who was in that. The Punisher before, what's his name on the series? The other Punisher. But anyway, enough of pop culture references. The point is that it was misty and it was no visibility. Now, was it unlucky that we went down the trail and there was snowmaking on it? Probably. Again, you hear it before you see it. You absolutely hear it before you see it, and then we just went smack into it. But you turn around and like, wow, I made it through that. Now, here's where you start to believe maybe in luck. We turn around. We look for our other two friends. Now, they're not new, one skier, one snowboarder. They're not new to it, but they're not overly experienced. These guys only really got to go when we came up to Vermont once a year. They weren't in it for years and years and years like I was, like Trav was, doing it all the time. And not that time. Which means there was another time, and that means Rob has more great stories to tell. And, man, really hope we could pull off that Route 100 trip, man. At least a couple days of it, because shit's going to get fucking wild. And even if it doesn't get wild, we'll still get a couple of good stories. But... So we're waiting for our friends to come down through the snow guns, which we may have been lucky to make it through, to bring it back around to luck and unlucky, being unlucky or lucky. We're waiting for our friends to come down. Like I said, they're not new, but they're not overly experienced, and they didn't come down behind us right away. Now, we knew they weren't going to. We were bombing. We are experienced, and we were bombing. We were bombing the trail. And that was what we were doing. But they still didn't come, and still didn't come, and still didn't come. And now we're looking at each other like, holy shit. Did we just kill these two? Eventually they did. They came kind of slow. And they said they were nervous up there, in that zero visibility. It's a narrow trail too. It's narrow. So it's like, man, they felt unlucky. They were unlucky for, saying, we'll follow you. It's probably not a good idea. See, but then Patrick could have been cocky, because I've told that kid before, don't follow me on this one. I don't think you're ready. And he follows me anyway, and he makes it. And now, was it his skill was more than I thought, or was it luck on his part? I think it was luck, because he's also the kid I said, I was standing on the trail flagging everybody to go right. He goes left, dumps a steep yard sale. So who knows? What do we got here? They were at the top looking down. I sped past them hot dogging. Oh, well, got to run. Ski peeps, have a good night. Everybody keep the stoke alive. Yes, Mr. Rob, have a good rest of your night at work. Don't play on Twitter too much. We'll be around here in a little bit once the show has come to an end for this week. And be careful with those hot dogging moves, man. I don't want you to get hurt. We need you out there. We need you out there keeping Stoke alive and having all the good stories and all the bathtub pictures and the prime real estate for those tattoos. I really don't think it's in Ski Rex Media's budget to pay the HOA fee, but that's for another time altogether. Follow me on Twitter or follow Rob at tech_Rob to find the whole story about the HOA fees and the prime real estate for tattoos. That's his bit, and you can find those at
Either follow me because I was talking about it, or follow him and you'll see it direct. Anyway, actually, we might have been doing that in the one ski chat. I don't remember, but it was funny. It was actually really funny. Also, that's where the disclaimer bit started, and that there's a lot of potential with the disclaimer bit. We're going to do something with that. Anyway, it is unlucky that Robert has to work tonight on a Saturday night and not be able to hang out for the rest of the opera party, but that's okay. I hope you're having a good night. I hope you're enjoying the program so far. If you are, that's great. Hit the like button. If you haven't, tell a friend if you can. I told a friend today. I don't know if she was able to watch, but maybe she was, maybe she's not. I don't know. But tell a friend, tell your husband, tell your wife, tell your girlfriend, tell your boyfriend, tell your kids, tell whomever. Ski Rex Media, podcast written content, and the live stream and virtual opera party for the off season. And if you need help telling them, boom, I'll send you a couple of these, and you could sticker your car, sticker a lift tower, sticker a lift chair, sticker a gondola car, sticker your bicycle. And if you want to help also spread the word and help support the show, right here is the Patreon and the link in the URLs to the merch shop. Pick up some merch, support this program on Patreon. Check that out if you'd like. That would be helpful. And all the links are down in the description, by the way. You can check that out, including emails and everything else. So, unlucky. Where are we at with unlucky? We have unlucky instances with getting hurt, unlucky instances getting caught after dark, unlucky instances with ice and ski patrollers, unlucky with rental cars, unlucky with all kinds of stuff and snow guns and things like this. Again, I'm not saying luck is a real thing. I'm not saying being lucky or unlucky is a thing. I like to believe in skill. But then again, I'm very quick to point out the difference between talent and skill. Anybody can learn how to do anything, but talent is what makes someone gives someone the ability to make it look effortless. Look at some of our best competitive skiers and riders. These people, they make it look effortless. Like they don't even have to try. Like they just put the friggin' boots and skis on or the boots and the board on. It's like, all right, I just did it better than anybody. That's talent. But talent's different than luck. You can have a ton of talent. The luck is getting discovered. Maybe you have the best singing voice in the world, but you weren't lucky enough, or you weren't there, or Simon was having a bad day on an American Idol. You didn't get there, so you don't have the luck necessarily to get discovered, even though you have the best singing voice out there. Luck may be real. Luck may not be real. I don't know. Like I said, there's stories we just told that seem lucky or unlucky, dependent, the eye of the beholder. Sometimes, and like I said, I believe in karma. I believe that the universe will say, all right, Dick, you screwed up, and now you will be punished. I believe in that. Luck, not so much. Let's see. What else may have not been so lucky on the hills? One time when I worked for Mount Snow, it was summertime. So you know what's fun in the summer? I don't know if everybody will think this would be fun. I think it's fun. So in the summertime, if the lifts aren't necessarily running on a given day, because not always, my boss needed something. We needed the extra soda pop that was up in the Summit Lodge. And he's like, take one of the pickup trucks and go get it. All right. Grabbed the stuff I needed, jumped into the truck, drove up the hill. Driving up the ski hill is fun. It's not real off-roading because the road is there. It's not very good. You do have to be in four-wheel drive, and you can't go ripping up it at like 50 miles an hour or 60 miles an hour. You're doing 20 up the side of the mountain. But it's a lot of fun because it's something different. Not everybody does it all the time. And I got up there. I walk up to the cooler that they were in, and I left the keys at the bottom. So it was actually quicker for me. And here's where luck may have come into play. I picked the lock on the cooler, opened it up. I figured that was quicker than going all the way back down, getting the keys, and going all the way back up. It worked out. It actually didn't work out. By the time I got back down, we didn't need it anymore anyway. So it was kind of a biff, and I felt bad. Because it was my biff. And again, see, you might not be able to consider it lucky or unlucky. Some people would say, yeah, you forgot on that. That's, shit luck. I'm like, was it shit luck or was I just not paying attention? Which is more likely, So I don't know, man. I don't know.
I could be wrong. I could be right. You never know about luck. I have no clue. But it did turn into a bad day. But it was a weird day at the mountain anyway. It was actually in the fall. It wasn't in the summer. That's why the lifts weren't running. It was in between, getting them turned on, getting the lifts turned off from mountain biking, and then turned back on for the winter. So there you go on that. I don't know. I'm having trouble thinking of more stories, man. I've seen some what could be considered some lucky shit. I think I've told the North Face story where we saw the woman fall on her skis on a diamond trail, but she fell sitting down. And if you end up falling sitting down on your skis, you turn into a rocket sled is what happens. Anytime you're on skis, a snowboarder doesn't really have that problem, because if a snowboarder falls back, it's onto the ground. If a snowboarder falls forward, it's onto the ground. Skier, if you fall forward, you're going to probably, come out of your bindings anyway. If you fall back, however, your knees bend, you sit down, you basically just sit down, and you're now on a sled. So that's a lack of skill, or a lack of training, or a lack of, whatever. And you come to, you see that shit. It's not good. Let's see here. What is this? Rubicon, I might leave. Internet is dying. Almost got 3 minutes of latency on the stream. 3 minutes! Holy smokes. All right, dude. Well, have a good day down there if you're taking off. I'm pretty sure it's tomorrow where you are. Here it's still tonight. It's 9 o'clock at night on the 11th. Down there, I'm fairly certain it's the next morning or early afternoon maybe. So enjoy your day, sir. Thank you for joining. Join us again next week or the week after. I will be posting when the next live stream is, and then obviously on Wednesday, for those who have been here, is the recorded podcast, and there will be a new one of those this Wednesday as well. That will be recorded tomorrow or the next day or Tuesday. But yeah, what was I saying? Which story was I telling there before I answered Rubicon there? The chick who fell. So she fell. She went rocketing down North Face at a high rate of speed and just wrapped around a tree. She lived, thankfully. Like she was hurting. Like she broke ribs. I'm sure of it. Like we never got a detailed account of what her injuries were, but we do know she lived, which is good. And she was actually a regular. We didn't know all the regulars by name. Sometimes we had nicknames we gave them for ourselves, so we could say, hey, look, did you see this person's coming? But you work you work in a lodge every weekend, you start to see the regulars. And, you get to know these people, and you have their order. They order the same thing every time. You have it ready for them before they even get to you. It's kind of awesome. But, yeah, this woman who got jacked up like that, she was a regular. Like, we used to see her around. And, man, she got torn up, son. Got torn up by just railing that tree. You never want to run into a tree, especially at high speed. At low speed, it's bad enough. At high speed, it is terrible, and you don't want that at all. Ever. Ever. Ryan's here. Ryan, have you been here the whole time? Or did you just get here? Ryan from the Midwestern contingent, the North Midwestern contingent. We're talking about luck and not having any of it. And I'm running out of stories. That's unlucky. Again, though, see, I didn't think the topic through. When we were talking about it, I came up with it because of something we were talking about in one of the ski chats. I was like, let's talk about luck. And then I thought, number 13. Perfect time. Unlucky number. And it's like, man, I must have some unlucky stories. And I'm like, wait, there's no such thing as luck. But then luck, isn't necessarily a literal word either. It isn't necessarily used literal. Just got home saying hi since it's still going. It's still going. We're going for about an hour, which is about our typical thing here, but I can get done. For the wonderful virtual opera party, like I said, I hope you all have enjoyed it. Make sure you tell a friend. Make sure you bring a friend if you can. No fate but what we make. Travis is right. Reese told us that. And somehow Reese became John Connor's father. All right. I know we talk about skiing here. I do. And snowboarding and snow sports and winter sports. I know
though, that you realize that I bring up a lot of pop culture references and that I'm very much into nerddom and science fiction. I am about done with time travel and science fiction. If I see a time travel ski story come up, I'll be upset. I can't ignore the paradox. Do I love the first Terminator? Absolutely. Do I love the second Terminator? Absolutely. Time travel needs to go. It needs to go. I have a science fiction ski story in mind. I'm going to start right very soon because I think I have it, at least the first part of it. And I think I got it. There will be zero time travel. There might be jokes about time travel, but there will be zero time travel. There will be anti-time travel. No more time travel in movies. Please, dear God, don't let time travel enter ski movies. There was that one that came out, Fire on the Mountain there this past year. Chris Benchetler, and it was done to the music of the Grateful Dead. And God, there was a whole sequence in there. I wish time travel was possible because it was just long. Just long. I'm not hating on the movie. Definitely not hating on Chris Benchetler. Love Chris Benchetler, but man, that was a rough one. That was a rough one for me. You know, that's what I do with movies. I may or may not like it, but I'm not going to say good or bad unless I can actually say good or bad. And I think I know enough about filmmaking to say good or bad. Anyway, yes, no fate but what we make. No luck. Now, in my experience, there's no such thing as luck. Obi-Wan said that. Lucky is as lucky does. I don't fucking know. I don't know, and it's really hard for me to come up with stories. I could just come up with bad stories, but even that's hard to do because I don't always see a bad story as a bad story. You know, I've seen a lot of good stories out there, a lot more good stories up there, man. Luck, bad luck. I've been caught in the rain, but that has nothing to do with skiing. I just thought of that because it was oddly raining on and off today. But that's not lucky. That's just being at the wrong place at the wrong time, man. A kid got lucky one time I was skiing. This little kid, man, he cut me off and he went down. He cut me off and went down in front of me. I jumped over him at the last second, and I don't jump much. And I jumped over this kid. Kept my feet, too. I jumped over the kid. He was like 5 years old, and he went down in front of me. He cut me off, too. Like the kid was in the wrong. He was just a little rocket. Just flying, and he comes and he cuts me off and he falls, and I jumped over him. And his father was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Thank you for not hitting him." I was like, "Is he all right?" And he's like, "I think so." And I'm like, "Well, then that's good enough." You know, I don't think he cut me off on purpose. You know, that's not what I'm saying at all. He got a little big for his britches, and he got a little out of control, and he went down, and that happens. So I don't know. It was lucky for him. He was lucky I was paying attention. He was lucky that I was able to take care of that business. And that's what happened. So, you know, that's that. That was lucky for him. Beyond that, goodness gracious, I don't know, man. I'm trying to think, man. Trying to think. Unlucky. You know what'll be lucky? If I actually get the boots I want to get before the season starts. I have a lead on a boot fitter. If you listened to or watched, if you were watching this past week's recorded program, I talked about, Vermonters, call out your boot fitters. Call out your ski shops. Who's got a good boot fitter? Because I'm probably not going to buy skis this year, but I think I need to buy boots. Especially since I found evidence of something living in mine. And I was not happy about that. Very not happy. But these boots are old. I mean, my skis are old too, but they've held up. My boots have not held up. They took a beating. But then, ski boots can. You're taking them out. You're walking. Like, I'll walk all the way to the parking lot in my ski boots. Not always. I'm very much a snob when it comes to that. At the end of the day, I like going right to a bench, pulling my ski boots off and throwing sneakers on. Because let me tell you, that is one of the best feelings in the world. That really is one of the best feelings in the world, man. Pulling your boots off, ski or snowboard, doesn't matter, and chucking a pair of sneakers on, man, especially if you leave them just a little loose. Not so loose they come off in the parking lot and you step in a mess with your sock. That sucks. But, man, just having those nice sneakers being put on, man, is wunderbar. It's wonderful. It's awesome. But, I've walked on pavement in my ski boots. I've walked and run up and down stairs, all the way out to the car, into the house, driven in my ski boots. You know what I mean? You should never drive in your ski boots or your snowboard boots for that matter. I'm sure everybody in here has done it, but you shouldn't do it. You definitely shouldn't. It's not safe to drive in your ski boots, but I have done it. So I don't know, man. I don't know. But anyway, yes, so I had Vermonters. I had guy I met out in Stowe. He called out the boot fitter over at Pinnacle. So I might be taking a ride out to Stowe to check out some boots. So that's something good. That's luck. I met that dude out of nowhere. And it's just like, yeah, I know a boot fitter. I'm like, fucking hey, dude. Call him out. I'll be there. I'll see what my budget can afford, and I'm on my way out there, dude. And we'll get fitted. So I don't know, man. We've done an hour of program. I'm already running out of steam. What do you say? Anybody else got anything before we close out of here? Hour's about what we go. Hour between an hour and a half. That's about our average. What do we got? Anybody else got anything else? We're up to 4 likes, 6 concurrent viewers, but that's all right. We'll get them on the replay. I should plug the shit out of the replay. I don't think I plugged the replay enough. Let's see here. No, I'm impressed you didn't wreck the car trying to drive in ski boots. Yeah. That actually, you know what? We might be able to tie that into luck. Ryan is right. He's impressed that I didn't wreck the car driving in ski boots. Me too. Because I didn't just drive out of the parking lot, mind you. I went like home or down the road to the convenience store at the very least. Like a couple miles at least. But I think I went the whole way home, which was like 10 miles. Yeah, man, I did it. And it's not easy. The ski boot really doesn't fit down there. You really can't feel the pedal, And some people say, well, you could just wash the speedometer, and that's very true. But let's be honest, when you're driving, a lot of that's feel. What you feel in the wheel, what you feel in the pedals, what you feel in the seat and in the stick even if you have an automatic. Like I've never driven a manual with ski boots. There's something I wouldn't want to try. The car I had at the time was an automatic. I have had manuals in the past, but at the time it was an automatic, which makes it a little easier because you really can't miss the brake pedal because you got that big ass clunky boot. All you got to do is throw your foot over and your foot's going to sink on the pedal. But that's the other thing is you got weight. So you can't, not only can you not really feel the gas pedal under the boot, but that added weight, if you don't take that into account, you're just sinking on the gas pedal. And if you have a lead foot as it is, that's going to suck because now you're really blasting around and the cop's going to pull you over. And if that cop happens to look down while you're handing the police officer your license, registration, and insurance card and sees those ski boots, you're now getting a speeding ticket and a ticket for that. And you better have your sneakers in the car because they'll probably make you change them right there. Yeah, don't drive with your ski boots or your snowboard boots. I know Travis is driven with his snowboard boots too. I've seen him do it. But I won't do it. Not again. I have. I'm not doing it again. Even with properly fitted boots, I'm not doing that. That's not a good thing to do. Let's get rid of that here. So yeah, that was probably a bit of luck. That was a bit of luck that I didn't wreck the car. That's a bit of luck that I, was able to pull it off without speeding and get a speeding ticket. It was a bit of luck that I didn't break an ankle doing it. Having to hold that up, trying to hold the boot up so I'm not doing 100 miles an hour. I don't know. But that's about it. I think that might be it. Unless anybody else has something they'd like to throw out there for lucky or unlucky or lucky 13. Monday the 13th is coming. No Friday the 13th this month. I don't know when the next Friday the 13th is, actually. So, throw out something if you can here at the end. But, I think we've done an hour. A little more than an hour. So, I'm ready to bang out if you guys are. I hope you enjoyed the program. 5 likes, 6 concurrent viewers. As I was saying, please
If you could, tell a friend. Bring a friend. Like I said, I tried to bring a friend, but it was kind of last minute, so I don't know if she watched or not. If she did, awesome. If not, that's okay too. Get her on the next one. Bring friends, bring coworkers, husbands, wives, boyfriends, girlfriends, children, whatever you want. Bring them. Show them the Ski Rex Media live stream and virtual après party. We will be doing this through the rest of the summer and into the fall. Until regular après starts, because even on Saturday, if I can actually get out there and start doing some, stuff, man, I'm not going to be back in time to do these, but we'll have regular après. So we'll just go to the regular podcast, the written content through the winter, plus any other projects I'm going to do with Ski Rex Media. And then once the summer comes along in the fall, we'll go back to virtual après. We'll go to virtual après season 2. It continues coming summer of 2021. Which also reminds me, think about this. I know a good amount of you do also listen to the recorded podcast on the Wednesdays. And I'm looking for a season break. Like I might stop it for a bit so we can get a season break, take a little vacation from it, and then come back with season 2. I don't know how long it's going to be. Maybe 2 weeks, maybe a month, maybe not even at all. Maybe I'll just keep going with it. I don't know. But just a break to get, nice little divide, get the creative juices flowing again, because even I have to say my creativity is shot. It is shot out. So we'll see. We'll see with that. We'll talk about that another time. But I am Tim from Ski Rex Media. Thank you for joining me. As I said, please hit that like button and subscribe. And I think I have the notification bell too if you want to use notifications. Actually, I must, because I always get notifications on my phone when I start my live stream. As if I were not me, because I have my actual YouTube account. Well, my personal YouTube account, and then there's the Ski Rex Media YouTube account. But anyway, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't. Go to the website, subscribe there too for the written content. Even though I do post it every day on social media, you can go there and you will get an email as soon as it comes out, or within a few minutes of it coming out. And you don't have to wait for it that way. And keep an eye out, because today I spent trying to get started with building a new website, getting the website. I like the website the way it is, but I think I can go a little bit more minimalist and make it a little nicer. Plus, Instagram, for the Instagram followers, definitely needs a better landing page. That's for certain. So check all that out. Like I said, over here is the money making part, Patreon and the merch shop. Because of your support through Patreon and the merch shop, I have replaced the camera. I am getting the new piece for the new piece of decor for the background of the studio. Gonna get the LED light so I'm not sweating my balls off and have to wipe my eyes out all gross on camera all night, like I'm about to do right now. So check all that out. Also on this side, we have the social media. I know most people in here follow at least one, if not two or all three. And let's see, what are you doing? Sunday. Tomorrow is the top post of the weekday, so check that out. Maybe you missed something that's kind of awesome. Plus the usual shameless plugs and whatever else I feel like throwing out on social media. So check that out for Sunday. And then Wednesday, we'll be back with the recorded podcast as every week. And then Monday through Saturday, really, typically there's written content every day. At least one article, if not more. And I'm thinking about doing more blog-style articles, stories, not just my news stories. All right? So keep an eye out for all that. Thank you for watching, everyone. I really do appreciate it. And I will see you on the next one. And hopefully we'll have some good luck talking about Lucky 13, but I hope we'll have some good luck coming up, and we will be able to have a good season this coming season, and I'll see some of you guys out there. Like I've said, a lot of people are planning to stay local. Plan to stay local, but if you can get out of state and come visit Vermont, or if I can get down to where you are, we're all still waiting for Big Snow America to open, and hopefully a chance to get down to that Plastic Hill. I don't know. All right, everybody, thank you and good night. I will see you on the next one. Have a good night. Have a good evening. And, for Rubicon, even though he already left, have a good day, because it's daytime in Indonesia. See, we were worldwide. We've had people from Austria in the live stream. We had people from Indonesia in the live stream. Stickers just made it to England yesterday. How great is this? Ski Rex Media worldwide. I'll see you on the next one. Guys, have a good night, and I'll see you later. Thank you.